on, Cubs fam? We are back for another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. And my friends, today we need to have a little bit of a sad moment. Because today we are mourning the loss of a dear friend to the Cubs fam. We are mourning a very, very key loss. And that loss is the one, the only, Darth Mullet.
I'm sorry, guys. It had to happen. It was turning me to the dark side. I couldn't do it. I got to go back to my roots.
I just want to express my undying disappointment in your life choices, Ian. I know your parents, everybody else is probably like praising you, but I'm so disappointed.
Dude, it'll come back, but I gotta give it a break. You gotta give it a break. I wore it for like 4 or 5 months. I gotta give it a break.
I love that mullet. All right, well, F in the chat for Ian's mullet. Today we're talking about this Twitter question that I asked, and this came from a conversation that I had with a patron of mine. His name is Buzzsaw. Great guy. You guys have probably seen him around the chat if you're on Twitch or by YouTube streams. And the dilemma that a lot of people are facing right now is how to handle the current landscape of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes post Galactic Legends. And for Buzzsaw in particular, he was thinking about maybe leaving his guild because he couldn't keep up. And Buzzsaw, mind you, is a very traditionally heavy spender in the game. And so I wanted to ask the question, did Galactic Legends break this game from a game balance standpoint? And to get a feel for that, I did ask this Twitter question here for players who don't have GL Rey, asking about Rey in particular. Are you able to be here without a Galactic Legends character? 84% cannot be here. Now, polls, take them for what they're worth. Lots of bias in those polls, probably, in those responding. So I wanted to bring Ian on, the formerly known as Darth Mullet, to discuss this. Ian, I'm going to put you on the hot seat to get this started. Do you think that Galactic Legends broke the game balance?
No,
Woo-hoo!
I do not think so.
Okay, spicy.
I do not think so.
All right, let's talk about this because
there's a lot.
I feel like maybe they did. So we might debate this a little bit, but give me some of your logic to this. Let's go.
Okay, so when have they come out? How long has it been? Like 2, maybe 3 weeks, less than a month, we'll just say. There's already counters. The counters, some that you have already seen, probably have just like a bunch of theory crafts of different conglomerations of characters coming together. But in other teams, I have one I want to do and publish in a couple days. A full Jedi team can beat both GLs with their ultimates. It's
full
totally
Jedi.
doable. Full Jedi, yeah. I'm talking.
No Thrawn, no funny business. Is that including gas?
It is including gas. That's
okay.
The one thing. Well, I want to get into that in my video because gas. If you're thinking about it, you're gonna already have gas if you're gonna have to worry about these GLs. In my opinion, at least, you should have gas.
Right.
If you're not, you should definitely get gas. He is a must. I actually think gas is a better team than Rey is. That's just my opinion. For most of the use in the game, I think
gas is a better team than Rey.
Yeah, not defensively because Rey is for sure with her ultimates, but I think when you're talking about her with offensive use, I think gas can beat a lot more than Rey can.
This is one audacious boy. Now, I'm really interested in your video, though, because let me tell you why real quick. I think one of the biggest concerns with some of the counters that at least I've been publishing and that I've seen floating around is they carve up so many teams. But if you're using full Jedi with gas, and by the way, to this point of the video, I want you guys to all pretend that this whole time we've been talking about farting, not General Skywalker, because we've said gas so many times now. No, so with General Skywalker in a Jedi team, if that works, I can actually forgive that because maybe it carves up your best General Skywalker team, your best clones team, but you can still dump Shaak Ti with the rest of the 501st and get use out of that.
I'm telling you right now, Shaak Ti is such a strong defensive team.
She is.
With it is so strong. I didn't fight a Shaak Ti my last JC. I actually fought a Rex team with Nest, and I was using CLS. I about lost it. And usually, if that was a gas lead, that's an easy 55 banner win, not even worrying about it. But it's different, So I do think you can definitely use a clones team without gas. I think he's one that you can definitely, if you have to use him in a counter to Rey or Kylo, you should definitely consider it because he's a great character in that counter.
So if we're
That's my
talking just
thoughts.
about game balance in terms of competition for now, can you reasonably beat her? I personally have not ran into Ray yet. She's at the top of my arena shard. My motivation to climb up to the top 10 is very low right now, so I'm just not doing it. I'm hovering around the top 50. A lot of that is because I'm just a little burnt out right now. And I haven't seen her in Grand Arena right now. But I have seen some people struggling, notably Urza on his stream, just dumped some really solid teams and got nowhere with it. So do you feel then, Ian, would you contend that the community right now is panicking too soon and that this Jedi counter you've got is going to be reliable for the common man? I mean, how RNG dependent is this going to be? How mod dependent is this going to be? Because I think sometimes you see counters like this and it's like, all right, cool. These characters can beat this team when you've got the most OP mods you could possibly have when you're going against a team that's not optimally modded. Is it that kind of situation, or do you feel like this is genuinely reliable?
I genuinely think that this is reliable. So I've seen ones with this JKR. It's usually a JKR lead.
Yeah.
I didn't go a lot into it, but I'm going to say that from a video. But JKR lead usually can handle both of them. You can toss in Thrawn if you want, but a full one with Bastila instead of Thrawn is a really, really comfortable and a comfy win. The things that can throw them off, I guess we can go about a little bit of the mods. Like, you don't need hardcore mods. You know, you're not going to need like 150 speed sets on everybody here. In fact, you can only really need, or you only really need in this counter like maybe 2 people with like 130s, which is JKR and
Okay, I would say that's reasonable.
That's totally reasonable for a huge counter, you know?
If you're endgame, if you're running into Galactic Legends Ray teams and you don't have 130 speed sets, you've probably already been struggling against every meta.
Yeah.
It's not a Galactic Legend Ray problem, it's an endgame problem for you.
It's a mod, dude, and mods are still the biggest thing in this game. You know, I have not enough mods for what I have now on my roster. Now that I have Ray, I would love way more mods. That's a whole nother topic. But yeah, you don't need crazy fast mods on this team. You can just run 2 people kind of fast, you know, 130 speed sets, and everybody else can be relatively slow, 80, maybe 100 speed set. Gotta just bump up the damage for those big attackers like Gas, and it's totally doable. Like I said, I want to go more in depthly about it in my next couple videos.
Yeah. So when can the Cubs fam expect to see a video on this? I want to get you guys all hyped and be sure to go over and check out Ian's channel. Link is down below. Subscribe to him. Put notifications on so you can see it. But when is this? Is this going to be tomorrow? Is this going to be today? Are you going to show me right now? Because I'm getting excited.
Yeah, it's I mean, I'm sure maybe you guys have already seen the one with Thrawn, but this is a full one I'm talking about with full Jedi.
Yeah.
It's totally doable, and I'm gonna shoot for. I want to get my friend Blade Baca on. He's actually the one that has a lot of tests, footage.
Okay, cool.
And I'm gonna do some of my own tests and footage to get the best feel for it, because I haven't done the most tests, but from what I've seen and a little bit of my test, it looks very reliable. So you should be expecting that in the next couple days after Wednesday's GAC. So probably I'm shooting Thursday, maybe Friday.
Excellent. Well, that's great, everyone. Stay tuned for that. Now, I want to talk about one more subject. We'll move on here. We've teased the Cubs fam enough about this magic counter coming up. But before we talked on this video, we were talking about, Galactic Legends in general. Have they broken the game? And my thinking, based on what I'm seeing, again, this is mostly based on what I'm hearing right now, because I don't have a lot of personal experience, so my opinion is not strong in this regard for now. I'm going to be fair and balanced here. Like, I have not interacted with Ray at all yet, so I can't make that call. But I said it looks to me like maybe Ray has broken the game, and your call is actually maybe not Ray. Maybe it's Supreme Leader Kylo instead of Ray. Can you tell me a little bit about that, why you would say that?
So, yeah, I do think Kylo. But just before I get into that, I think Kylo is going to be the one that's going to break the game the most because of his ultimate. Both of them, without ultimates, pre-ultimate, they are totally easily, accessible with the counters. And the counters I want to go after, you can still kill them after with the ultimates as well. But pre-ultimate, still easily to counter, in my opinion. You don't need these crazy counters.
Easy.
I would say so. Yeah, you don't need these crazy counters. You're only going to need to build a couple things to it. The reason why I think Kylo, though, is better after the ultimate, with his ultimate, is because he can just annihilate teams. He is going to be not only a scary threat, but if he does, like, if you can't control him, and let's say he does get his ultimate off, you're looking at possibly 3 turns with you can't being able to do any damage to him, and he could potentially just AoE your entire team down. And that's a scary thought. Raze actually is a lot more easy to handle because she's going to still have that full team. You know, you can't really do much damage, but after that, she can do her AoE or whatever. And that's not going to do as much damage as Kylo's for sure because he has the siphon mechanics. The reason why Kylo is so scary is because of the siphon. He can siphon the mastery away and make your guys a little bit, you know, weak, and he just bumps himself up. He is a solo team. You know, he can solo teams. He can just be the beast in the First Order and outside the First Order. You can do wherever you want to use him. He's like he's like a plug and play character, man. He's just so good. He's just so scary. That's the whole thing here. His ultimate is scary.
Interesting.
And there's a lot of videos showing that. So, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's a really interesting. It's funny because this video went in a completely different direction than I expected when I first hit you up to make this video. So I find your perspective very refreshing, Ian. Thank you very much for sharing it with the Cubs fam today. And I just want to call out as well. We are not trying to tell anybody how to feel about Galactic Legends by being optimistic about this. If you feel demoralized about Galactic Legends, it is 100% your right to. I do. And the big reason why I do is I don't feel like I'm ever going to be able to get them. It feels insurmountable from where I'm at right now. I'm still 0 for 26 for all of them, even though I've started farming for Supreme Leader Kylo. But for those of you who do want to stick this thing out, keep playing the game, find solutions to this. If you're feeling discouraged about that for now, I would invite you to be patient. It sounds like Ian and Blade Baka over here have found a pretty practical solution. I would say a lot of the solutions I've seen are possible, not really that practical, especially from a Grand Arena perspective. Hearing that Jedi are doing this with gas, that gives me all kinds of hope for you guys out there. And so hang tight for Ian's video. I think this might be some of the best news the game has had in a while. But again, if you're feeling down and discouraged about Galactic Legends, we're not telling you not to feel that way. It's still a pretty dark time in the game.
I think Galactic Legends might suck for the common man, but what really irks me the most is the bugs in this game. Blade, actually, he was in TW and we had to fight a Rey, and he had the worst bug ever where the Rey literally was in her ultimate, like you can't do any damage to her for like the entirety of the match.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just the bugs in this game are really what's the killer for me and most endgame players. Like they want to get these counters going, but like there's bugs in the way, and it's just so just annoying, man.
You would think with 4 months to test only 2 characters, because mind you, they only did one thing for 4 months. You would think the characters would be polished.
You would expect it to, and yet they're so.
You had one job.
I know. I know.
Well, I'll echo that sentiment. So anyway, we are not CG apologists here, ladies and gentlemen. But for those who want to stick around, sounds like we got some good news on countering Rey. Ian, thank you so much for all the work you do. Again, I'm personally super excited for your video. I'm going to be waiting on pins and needles for it. So everyone else, be sure to check that out. Ian, before we end the video, anything you want to close with for the Cubs fan?
I just think the game's still fun. Yeah, there's gonna be some annoying things that you're gonna have to deal with. That's just part of the game, you know. Rey's just kind of like the old Gas and Darth Revan, and same with Kylo. There's gonna be counters, there always will be. And it's just a matter of time before people will kind of figure out the counters and then make it the best. So I want to try to help you guys there. So that's all I gotta say.
Well, that's my job too. We will both do our very best to bring you the counters, and sounds like Ian's got one up his pocket that's just going to be great. So, all right, everyone, thank you so much for joining for the video. As always, my brothers, give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and don't ever forget